Live chat.
Okay.
Live chat. Can you hear me now? No, did you hear anything? No.
I think it was me. I think it was me this whole time. I think my input and my output were backwards.
Not a technical difficulty rearing its ugly head this early in the stream. It's
Hi,
almost like
everyone.
it's contagious. Hello, everyone. We were trying to get our the
Audio is
the
hard.
pro MLM, spirits were just being sassy before the stream. So here we are, mostly intact. A little bit late because, it's me. And we're excited to be here for part 2. I'm just trying to grab my cord because my phone's about to die. All right. If you're we're going to say hello to everyone real quick because you've been waiting a hot 4 minutes for us. So,
We
hello.
appreciate the patience.
Yes, we do. I really hate being late, but YouTube streaming keeps you very humble. I will tell you that right now. So, hello, Jessica and Lynn and Sky and Sherry. Yes, and we did add this to our stream because they are all produced with technical difficulties. So, I'm glad y'all can hear us. I'm gonna I'll go first and then I'll let Danielle go because we keep getting new people. I know she does and I do. My little timer thing kept binging today and I was like, what's going on? But I'm DC. I'm an MLM dropout. I was in Mary Kay Cosmetics for 2 years and then I was in Young Living for 3 years. So between 2014 and 2020, wait, 2022, sorry. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so long." I got out finally and I'm trying to figure life out after leaving a very high control group. Some of us like to call them commercial cults, and I know that really irritates the hell out of pro MLM people, so I'll just try to keep calling it a high control group. But after I left Young Living, I started messing about on YouTube, trying to share my experience to help other people. And I ran into Danielle after the Columbia fiasco, and we send each other "Hey hun" messages back and forth, and it just is giving me so much more life to reclaim the cold messages that I and others I know have received so many of them. So I'm gonna let Danielle, the business expert, introduce herself, and we will while I load the video up. So
I hope you know that I'm cackling at my phone every time I send you one of those messages. I'm like, I'm so funny.
oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's a day maker for sure.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much
Let me
for
get the
being
chat.
here.
Chat's on the screen
Perfect.
now.
We love it. Hi everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Danielle. I create essentially here on YouTube, I make anti-business coaching content for the most part. I'm a 5-year veteran in the world of entrepreneurship. And during the pandemic, I started kind of sharing the back end of running a business on TikTok, and that took off. I started doing marketing consulting specifically for small businesses. Backstory a little bit: when I opened my first business, I hired a business coach. I got scammed out of almost $5,000. She told me to write in my journal and believe in myself, and that was how to be successful in business. So for a long time, I had a lot of shame associated with that. And then one day, I decided to share it here on YouTube, and here we are. So I've been following the Jessie Lee Ward kind of saga anti-MLM community for a few years now. And when the whole Columbia fiasco took place, I figured she's in the coaching space, and that's the kind of stuff I like to talk about. So that's it. And then I met DC, and it's, been great. We go live all the time. So I love it.
Yeah, chronically be queen. It's in my face because my hair is drying. I know you and I have had conversations about you being rude in my chat, so you're not welcome in my stream anymore. And it is what it is. So if people have an issue with this, there's literally so many more things that you could pick apart on me, and I don't give a flippity flop. So
We
okay.
don't have tolerance for bad attitudes.
Oh my god, did I spell Danielle's name wrong in Nightbot? God dang it. Nightbot. Let me just fix this real quick. You don't have to watch part 1. I think I spelled your name D-N. I forgot an A. Hold on. You do not need to watch the first one. If you want to, you can. There is some pretty interesting backstory, origin story from some TikToks that we dug up. So, I uh you can enjoy this stream and totally be okay. We're talking about there's so many content warning and trigger warnings in the caption. Um the description below. Sorry, I'm like flustered. And so we're we're gonna be butting up against misinformation of someone saying that they're like sorry, I'm flustered.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Running up against misinformation, someone saying that her holistic alternative approach is the right approach because she believes that specialized cancer doctors are chemo pimps. Her words, and also mine because I repeated what she said. And it's very twisty for people who look up to her, who she may be encouraging to not get tested treatments for the big C. And just the same disclaimer that we had last night, no talk of karma in the comments because ca- cancer does not discriminate on who gets sick. And it is an awful disease. It touches all so many lives, and people do get to live longer now with the big C, or even are cured from it because of advanced medical treatments. I'm not saying it's a perfect treatment. I'm saying that um, there's not a conspiracy theory to keep people sick, in my opinion. And the fact that Jessie Lee Ward, who has a huge platform, a huge reach, is influencing people, and then also using her sickness as a way to get people to buy more ketones and buy her business training. It's very twisty. I think that it crosses the line into unethical behavior, and I think it's harmful. Um, I'm gonna take my inhaler real quick. So, Danielle, do you have any other opening thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'll someone brought this up in the comments on my live stream yesterday. I think it was anti MLM actually that brought it up. And it was the idea that at the end of the segment we watched yesterday, Jessie Lee was going on about how every doctor she talked to was attributing the V to the reason why people are getting the big C is because of the V, essentially, is what she was alluding to, saying that every doctor she went to was telling her that. And anti MLM brought up the idea that perhaps it's because like all of these doctors she's referring to are actually the like alternative medicine doctors that are saying that and not the like Western medical doctors. So I just thought that was interesting for her to bring up because I hadn't really thought of that yesterday when we were watching it. But that could be just something to think about, I guess,
Yeah.
in terms of like the conversation we had yesterday.
Mhm. And we're trying to at least I know Danielle and I are. I know that Aaron and Julie Joe are trying to navigate this as respectfully as possible and also call out behavior that's harmful to others and also highlight hypocritical stuff that's been going on. We looked at it last night because Aaron and Julie Joe revealed that in the internet sleuthing, they have found the actual documents where Avi, Jessie Lee's boyfriend, his wife filed for divorce in, was it January or was it in March? It very recently. And
Yeah.
and it's hypocritical, not that we're being holier than thou over here. We're saying she has made several public statements about how awful it was for her to find out that Vic was married and how devastating it was, and that she was never going to be involved with a married person again. And here we are. The rules have changed because it fits what she wants. And it's awful. It's awful. It's
Everything is always
awful.
twisted to whatever narrative she is deciding to live by in that moment. in my opinion.
Yep. So we are about halfway through this video. Um, I know there's a lot of content warnings in the description. I think it's a fair listing of what happens when we listen to Jessie Lee Ward. There's classism, there's misinformation, there's anti-Semitism, there's bigoted comments. She talks about her surgery, so I have listed like blood because she's also talking about all of her testing. I know some of these topics can be triggering for people, and if you find yourself getting um upset
Triggered or
or yeah, and
activated.
like you're having like a physical response, hop out of the video. Always. I know we say it every time. You are more important than watching our content. Your mental health's more important, and and sometimes it's hard to remember to advocate for yourself. So we're here to remind you that you're incredible and you deserve to um only engage with content that you feel safe engaging with. So all right. Do we know if she's commented publicly today after all the live streams over the weekend? She did something earlier today. After Aaron and Julie Joe said post it, basically post the pictures that Jessie Lee Ward said that she would post. Literally an hour after they said that on her stream, she suddenly posted maybe a couple of hours. She posted the pictures from her surgery. So it's interesting how coincidental the timeline is when
No
information
kidding.
gets shared by Jessie Lee after all the time after Aaron and Julie Joe's videos. And they have thousands of views on them now. One of them has 7,000 views. I think the other one has 8,000.
Yeah, I saw that
So,
earlier.
so and people in the empire are very upset about this content, and I will say this. Um Multiple points of view is a good thing to learn from, and we're not clipping your leader out of context. There's a whole history of what she said, what she believes in, what she stands for, that she is directly like she's not behaving the same way. I'm not saying people can't change. I'm saying that if you joined someone who you thought had ethics and very strong morals and had a standard and they're not living up to that, you joined someone under fraudulent pretenses. Now, does that mean, oh my gosh, you have to leave? No, but it is information that's important for you to know. And it's information that Jessie Lee Ward is sharing herself. And there's a family involved in this situation, Avi's wife and his 3 kids under 7 years old. It's awful. It's awful, and knowing the history of that, it puts a whole different level of understanding on what she's saying about learning all the Jewish customs, um, taking care of Avi, saying like being overtly sexual with him on streams because she knows they're public. It's just very calculated. So, um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. So, all right, we're gonna pop the video in and
concerned with the cardiovascular stuff, not the.
Whoops. Let me get this over here. Oh, there we go. This is about where we stopped last night. If it repeats a little bit, yeah, Micaiah said Julie Joe's is at 7.9 thousand views and Aaron's is at 8.3 thousand. So, and Melissa said they should be upset. The leader they worship is not who she presents herself to be, and y'all were calling her out for that way before she had cancer. Yeah, and
I mean, we have receipts for everything. It's not like we just pull this out of our butts. Like,
yeah, it's not like we're just having a conversation and saying trust us. We're saying here's what she said. We're going to react to it. Here's what she said. We're going to react to it. We're going to show you. And Aaron and Julie Joe showed the documents, and we're going to show them to you too. Aaron was very generous and shared them with whoever wanted them. They are redacted, so people's information is protected. Their privacy is protected, but the first names are uncovered, so you know that we're not pretending
making
here.
it up.
Yep. So, okay, here we go.
Not the I wasn't worried about. I did not think that it was going to cause cancer. I just saw very healthy people dropping dead and getting heart issues from it, and that's what made me go, yeah, no, I'm too.
And then scaring the shit out of people with information that isn't accurate. It's a complicated thing coming up with it. I'm trying to be honest. It's a very vaccines are incredible and they're complicated. And sometimes there are people who are more sensitive to them than others. That is why there's waiting periods sometimes with different vaccines. That is why that if you are a more sensitive person, that you got to be in a special, at least in the United States, you had to wait a certain amount of time to make sure that they were okay and that they gave you a tip line to call if you were experiencing additional symptoms. It's not, as someone who kind of is very gullible, I'm speaking for myself, listening to someone weaponize phobias about something that can actually save lives, it's I don't know. It's dangerous for her to continue doing this because she's saying these casually, but her casual comments are landing with people who still are scared. So it's just,
And susceptible to believing whatever she says.
yep. I have to admit, her saying that about the vaccine scared me, but I have never had a doctor ask if I was vaccinated here in the Midwest. I think in his response to the filing, he's asking for spousal support. Yep, and we'll read that on the documents as well. Okay, here we go.
Too active. Like, I can't do it personally. So do what you want with your body. I just think that's information that for whatever reason people aren't really talking about that much, and I think it's something that probably should be talked about a lot. So anyway, yeah, yep. And that's not me being a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But when you end up being somebody that is getting asked by doctors repeatedly, are you vaccinated? Are you vaccinated? Are you vaccinated? You start to ask questions like, why are you asking me so many times if I'm vaccinated? So, and I think a lot of it, of course, is money. So, obviously. So, anyway. But you guys ask me, yeah, you can ask me questions about whatever I'm talking about. I don't really want to keep talking about cancer because I don't have it anymore.
And I'll be honest. I want to be honest with people. I have had, SK with OV said, I've had several not very serious but still noticeable for weeks reactions to the COVID vaccines, but I still get them because they're better than getting sick with it. And I have had some reactions as well. And it's something to talk about with your medical professional and come up with a scientifically founded plan for you. If that means you can't, then that is why it's important to not scare the shit out of healthier people who are able to get that. And I'm not trying to burn my channel or Danielle's channel down. I'm saying that influence matters, and again, weaponizing phobias is so wrong on so many levels. It's part of the bite model of what they do in high control groups, and she's here doing the same thing. And I think that it's wrong. I think it deserves to be called out, and I hope there's more level-headed people, maybe more level-headed than me. Danielle's super level-headed, that can say, like, let's talk about this like we're adults, that we respect each other, that we will remain united in our civility, and we can talk about hard things. And I don't know. I just have continued to lose respect for Jessie Lee Ward. I know lots of people don't like her. I used to like her. I did. I thought she was going to change. I kind of had that secret hope that, like, she was going to wake up and that she was going to
do great things.
Yeah, and that wasn't the case. So, and again, I know that this is a heavy stream. I know the stream before was a heavy stream. I know we're talking about things that are hard to talk about. I hope that as we learn how to navigate and speak through this, that it we don't make it less safe for you to be here and engage in the chat. But if it is, definitely hop out. Crystal, thank you for watching the replay tomorrow. I appreciate that. Cheryl, there's I don't know. Um the best person, and again, from what I know, that she has not been in contact with any of us. So the information that was found was through internet sleuthing, if that makes sense. So we want to protect her privacy. She is obviously in a very painful situation right now, but I'm sure if there's a safe way to help her in the future, that the person who's going to be able to do that, if she ever reaches out, would be Aaron or Julie Joe, since they're kind of the um, leading the charge on this stuff. So, all right.
Can't wait for my PET scan. I'm really excited. I know it sounds very crazy to be like, so excited for this PET scan. I can't wait, but I can't wait for them to tell me that I don't have it anymore. I see them being like, we don't understand, Miss Ward. We don't understand how there's no cancer in your body. And I'll be like, because I've been in these streets. I've been in these streets doing it chemo free. Okay, tell us about the coaching sessions. Sure. So, the Boss League Accelerator is currently open for enrollment. They are weekly coaching calls with yours truly. It's the only way you're going to get access to me at all. Obviously, you have way more access in the higher level coaching with Platinum, which is for more like systems and scaling your business. The only cancellations we've ever had for this are people saying that the accelerator is either too advanced for them and they're learning too much, or I've had some people say, I needed to know more detailed things about systems. I'm like, you were in the wrong level. You shouldn't have been a gold accelerator. You should have been a platinum. So pretty excited about that. And we do talk about investing and all kinds of stuff inside of the platinum accelerator. It's not appropriate for people who don't have money to invest, to be, in my opinion, when I got to teach you other stuff, right? So yes, the accelerator program is amazing, and it's been so fun and a huge passion project of mine. And I have not stopped that during all the cancer treatments and all that stuff, the cancer, even surgery. I did the call, and I guess I get so much energy from it. Like, it's just something that gives me more energy than.
It's twisty, and I'm not saying that you can't get motivated by people like your family or your friends and have that positive energy and feel better after having interacted with it, but she is saying in front of people who care about her that the only calls she's doing are the thousands of dollars a month calls in her elite training program, and that those are the only ones she's still doing, and they give her so much life. It's twisty. I know I use that word a lot because it's complicated. It's nuanced, it is strategic the way that she is positioning, in my opinion. And I'm trying to be respectful as I do this because I currently have a relative who is very sick with cancer, and I've lost so many people to cancer. I'm trying to be respectful, but there's also room to say this is the behavior we're seeing and it seems problematic.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. How can we get Prove It to actually care about her culturally insensitive comments? It reflects very poorly on them. It's I'm at a loss. We are too. We tried to get them to a public attention is what's going to do it, unfortunately. Because I'm the type of person, I'm going to contact a business in private and say, this is what happened with this interaction with this employee. I'm not a Karen. I have been on the customer service side in a bigger company where I was the one training the team members about interactions, and I would have wanted to know if one of my team members left a customer feeling like a lot was lacking. And so I do it in private. I don't want to shame the person that I had an issue with. I don't want to shame the company by just leaving a bad review without giving them an opportunity to change. And so I've done this in the past where I emailed Prove It's compliance, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we'll open up a whatever. We'll open up a case number." They don't. In my opinion, they don't. Because there's never been change behavior. After what she said about Ukraine, no change behavior. And it's like, I sent them an email and I said, look, I'm not looking to roast you online. I'm not looking to send this out to all the anti-MLM creators. This was before I was creating content. I said, this looks bad for your company. How are you associated with someone who wants harm on an entire country and is so flippant about the fact that this was right before Russia had invaded Ukraine, and the way that she spoke about it, it was awful. And it's not just like, oh my gosh, that's just Jessie Lee being her independent contractor self. No, it's tied with frickin' Prove It. And
Deeply. She mentions them in every video. I have never watched a Jessie Lee live stream where she does not in some way associate it back to Prove It. Whether it's her trying to sell the ketones, her just talking about what she does for work. Like, it's not like someone would stumble across one of her videos and not understand like where she works.
yeah. And I will say this, money is absolutely part of the equation.
100%.
They're not losing money by keeping her in. They're getting more money because a big enough content creator or article hasn't been done yet that would impact their bottom line, because they're not gonna move on Jessie Lee based off of choosing the ethical thing to do, or the thing that's filled with integrity, or the thing that's moral. They're leaving her be because she brings in millions and millions and millions of dollars to their company. And that is more important than, in my opinion, doing something where they get to say, you know what, we're going to sleep peacefully at night knowing that we're doing our best to keep our consultants FTC compliant so we can protect consumers, and that we are not letting people who say that they represent us do shitty stuff to people. And so money is the only thing that's going to move the needle. Loss of money is the only thing that's going to move the needle, in my opinion. So
I agree. And I think they know that like it's going to be the same as last time. If they were to fire her, she would just move to the next MLM and bring her whole team with her. So
Yep.
There goes whatever, the millions of dollars of revenue that she brings in every year.
Yep. And so they don't they don't want her to move.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they don't want her to
Exactly.
move because their loyalty is to Jessie Lee, and she has publicly basically shown, Prove It, that my people are so loyal to me, you better not do anything.
I can do whatever and I can say whatever.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She holds the power.
Yeah, and I would have said this, if it was my company, I know I'm not a CEO, at some point you cannot negotiate with someone who is threatening the reputation of your company. You can't get your reputation back, basically. And after this, if they even did anything to Jessie Lee by saying like, know what, we give a shit about people in the world, you don't get to say stuff like this. And not only that, you're not going to be able to represent or gain any money in the future by associating with our name, because we don't put a stamp on behavior like this. And now they've gone so long, in my opinion, their brand reputation isn't going to be fixable. I don't think. But I don't think they care.
No, they don't.
Everyone take a drink and a deep breath.
And then I can explain. So, Liz, yes! And of course, there is one-on-one coaching with the Platinum Yearly. So, Liz just said the coaching sessions are effing incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, that's like my big passion project. You can go to the link in the bio and check out everything I do, but that's where you're going to find that. You're going to find that as well. Hold on, I shouldn't talk and do my waterline. It's just not really working. It's also been so long since I've done this makeup. This is the smoothest eyeliner ever, and I can't get it to go on right now. Okay, maybe I'll just do a white, because the white is not dried out. I don't do makeup like this anymore. So yeah. All right, we're doing a white waterline. Plans changed. Also, Aviram has never seen me with a full face of makeup like that. Oh, he has one time. The Moni's wedding he saw me at. So, this is his second time, so I think he's excited. Where is my eyeliner?
So I've taken ketones before. Back in the day when I liked Jessie Lee Ward, back in 2016 or 20, right when she started with Prove It, I was taking ketones for about 6 months. And as someone who has like stomach issues, they weren't as bad as they are now. I am surprised that she is drinking ketones this soon after surgery. I will say that. If you are even a little bit, if your salt balance is even a little bit off, you are just sick, in my opinion. The ketones are like, they flush everything out, basically. And
A diuretic, my friends.
yes, so I'm surprised she's taking them this close after surgery. And I know I don't know. At least like be
There's
respectful
a
and
lot
like
of like, yeah.
take your doctor's orders seriously. Like they're not like joking around. They're not like this is a suggestion. No, like there's millions of surgeries that have happened to say like this is the best protocol to help you heal the most effectively. Do this. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to try to reinvent the wheel. And it's like
Why?
other smarter, brighter people have already tried all this stuff. It just, just wild.
It was the
Uh,
same with like the walking thing. The day after surgery, they told her not to walk, and she was like, I'm going to go for a 45-minute walk. And then
yep,
she's bragging about how she went for a 45-minute walk. And I'm like, this is not productive for other people that are going to listen to everything you say.
yep, yep.
I don't see it. Hey, babe. Can you go in the, I need a liquid eyeliner. I don't know if you know what that looks like. There's a whole bunch of them there's like a jar thing.
I will tell you all this to the people who are worried about Avi's wife. Every single thing, every single appearance where Avi has been with Jessie Lee Ward, we have that in a Google Drive. That is for her. If she ever wants access to it or needs it, Aaron has access to it. Julie Joe has access to it. If she ever reaches out to us, if her lawyer ever reaches out and needs it for them to be able to get a divorce, it's theirs. So if y'all, we're not just here being like, yay, we're gonna rag on Jessie Lee. No, we're trying to uncover deceptive recruiting and business behavior and trying to speak up against misinformation. And also in this process, we're trying to gather stuff in case anyone needs the information. So we did that with the Colombia trip, where we did that with Avi, so that if his wife ever reaches out, she has it. So there's a timeline.
Please. You can bring the whole jar, and I can just pick one out of it. Full makeup is only for ugly girls here, not girls that look like you. I love you, Naomi. You're so sweet. Oh my gosh. No, those are just, let me see it, maybe. Might be in there. You're a freaking king. I would like to give a big shout out to Aviram and his ability to be freaking perfect for me. He brought me the whole entire jar of eyeliners. I love you.
No, I know I'm talking so much. I'm not trying to talk over Danielle. Knowing that Avi is still married with 3 kids, and the little digs that Jessie Lee makes on these lives about how perfect Avi is for her, how incredible he is, how helpful he is, how blah blah blah.
He's the greatest guy in the whole world.
It is literally like an FU to his wife. It's just so mean. And
Exactly.
I always thought maybe that Jessie Lee was like not self-aware, but not necessarily like I knew she was strategic. I knew she was smart. I knew she was like all these other stuff. After seeing this and knowing that Avi's still married, I was like, holy, and I know, like, I heard the stories from Dre. I heard the stories from Aaron. I've seen how Jessie Lee has acted towards Karina. I don't know what it was. I thought like maybe she's just defending herself. It just showed me that like she's just being so above and beyond mean to someone who thought they were in a committed relationship, had a family. And I'm not saying if you need to pivot, I get that. I'm saying that in a respectful adult way, end the commitments you have with your partner and then move on. And I am being judgy as hell because if I don't know, I'm just mad. I'm just so I feel like
I
there's
think it
steam
makes
coming
it
out of my ears.
I think it makes it 10 times worse given the fact that she's a public figure.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
I'm not condoning him, like, cheating on his wife, but if he's gonna do that in private,
Sure.
that's a him and his wife issue, but when he's doing it not that he's like, you know what I mean, and now he's, like, with this public figure who feels the need to broadcast their entire relationship online, like, to me, that just takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that the wife doesn't see some of this stuff.
Oh, for sure. And it's not like she could have kept it completely private where she doesn't talk to him on lives, where she is you could tell if she maybe was giving a shit about the other person involved in the partnership. And
Exactly.
here it's just like
I think
flaunting
that's
it.
the part that irritates me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Babe? Making sure. He's so sweet. Best man.
Oh my god.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna do that.
No.
What was I even talking?
And I'll say this in general as not associated with a gender, but people who are accountable, who have really good qualities about themselves, don't just abandon people who they have prior commitments to. Because I'm not going to pretend to say like, oh, Avi must have loved his family. I'm going to say that doing the right thing, even when you don't feel good feelings, is important, especially if you're the person that brought someone else into the world. Like, I'm talking about his kids. I'm talking about what he allegedly did by disappearing, based on the divorce documents that we read. So, she didn't need to mention his name ever. Good point, Dave.
Exactly.
Yep. I still, Shadow said, I still can't overcome that 3 months into dating him, she was bragging on live how she had the same eggplant for 3 months, like she was surprised at herself being faithful, etc., and he is still married. Seriously, though, a woman that behaves in those ways that we are talking of specifically now and in a lot of her other ways as well, I don't know, but seems so very miserable in life in general. I think it's selfish. I know there's probably more stronger terms. Hey, California divorce court, Avi is shacking up with a millionaire. He does not need spousal support. Yep. And you can go to Business for Home and see what Jessie Lee Ward claims as her income. She just listed it. She said she's bringing in $1.5 million a month, or 1.2 something. She's bringing in $18 million a year. So Avi doesn't need support. I'm just going to take a screenshot real quick. All right.
Talking about, I was asked by Moxie Lash to test these under the eye lashes. Dude, I can't do it. Like, how do y'all get these lashes under your eyeball? Like, no, I can't do it. We're just gonna have to do normal lashes. All right, we're not done though. Like, this is clearly not a complete look, and the lighting is strange in here. Everything's strange in here. Anyway, okay. I have a book list on my app, I believe, so you guys can go to download the Bossly app, and you can check out my book list for personal growth, for books I think you guys should read. God brought him. No kidding.
Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
There are people who are trying to trying to convince. Okay, so he has Arab blood. For those of you that haven't heard the amazingly good news, he is 99.7% Arab, and that is just like.
Do you hear in the background saying stop?
Yeah, exactly.
If you knew your partner didn't want you to continue talking about something, people who respect each other in partnerships, they don't do stuff that they know their partner doesn't want them to do. Like, if your partner doesn't want to be online, you're not going to continually talk about them online because they want to maintain their privacy. And she's being, again, hyper focused on nationality and continuing to make his Jewish side smaller when he is an Orthodox Jewish person. Like, he is proud of his religion and his heritage and what he claims as his nationality too. I think he's Israeli. an Israeli citizen. So I just, it's wild. Especially continue talking about his genetics and heritage and fetishizing his physical appearance. And fetishizing it because it is so not like the propaganda that she thinks of when she thinks of Jewish people that was literally created to dehumanize Jewish individuals. It's just it it's just wild. It's just I don't have words. It's uncomfortable. It's hard to articulate all the stuff. Oh my god.
So sexy to me. What? But he's a Jew, you know? Like, in case you don't know. But I love.
But he's a Jew. Womp womp. I'm not saying that because I believe it. You could hear it in her voice. But he's a Jew. Are you serious?
After she was just like, he's 99% Arab, but he's a Jew.
I know. What the hell? You know, I will just say this. This is probably an assumption on my part, but if you're with a partner who despises something about you like this, it's a red fucking flag. It's just a red flag. And if you keep trying to make excuses for it, that's your prerogative. You get to do whatever you want to do, but just know like that's some on her level like hatred on her part for part of him that he is, that he like he can't get away from it, nor should he want to. Oh my god.
I love that about him. He's a very good Jew, actually. But
what does that even mean?
Stop. But that's
and then she mocks him. Love that.
Yep.
You know.
And I don't know. I know we have some people who are Jewish in the chat. I don't know if they're on. I say this because he's Orthodox Jewish. His wife, I think, is, if I understand this correctly, his wife probably is as well. There's different religious rules for divorce in the Jewish faith. And so this could, I don't know everything. It could be complicated for her to get the divorce because of the way and this is no shade on the religion. I'm just trying to say it's more complex. It's more awful it's more awful for her, if that makes sense. It's harder for her, the wife, because of all the stuff that Avi did. I'm saying that she's in a tougher position to try to get everything potentially that she needs to go before the rabbi to get a divorce that's like acknowledged by the church. And I if I'm saying this incorrectly, please correct me. That's just from what I understand from some of the Orthodox Jewish individuals I follow. For the sake of protecting others, I won't disclose my background or my exes. However, I dated a man that clearly had hatred for my background and it only got worse with time. I'm so sorry, Carolyn. From what I've learned, she has to wait for a religious divorce in order to move on. And there are some people, I'm not saying obvious this, there are some individuals who will not, like, it has to be signed off by the
release
man.
Their wife?
Yeah, they will not release. They will not release the wife, so she cannot, like, get remarried until he, it's just wild. It's wild for her. It's awful for her. Cheryl said, as a Jew myself, I know it makes the whole situation harder within the religion. Orthodox Jews usually never get a divorce.
Crazy.
Yep. In conservative and Orthodox Judaism, a religious marriage can only be dissolved through proceedings before a rabbinical court. So, but unlike a civil court, the rabbinical court doesn't have the power to declare two people divorced. The power is reserved for the husband. It's wild.
I'm attracted to Arab men, so it really worked out for me the best. Because Jewish men, for those of you who don't know, they really like strong women. So if you're where are my single strong women in the building? Single strong women in the building. I'm going to give you some information about Jewish men that you might want to know. If you're a single strong woman in the building, you should probably look into Jewish men. 10 out of 10. They like strong women. It's in their culture. I've been reading a lot of books about Judaism and like Jewish life and like stuff like this. And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you know what's a strong woman? The person who has to keep her family running with their 3 kids when the husband abandons them. You know, that I would say is a strong person. And 2, it gets meaner and meaner and meaner the more she talks, the more digs that she takes. And if you didn't know that she was with Avi and Avi was married, this might come across very differently. But there's actual documents that show that Avi's married. And so this is just so much twistier. I feel like a divorce isn't even an accurate description. He literally abandoned them. It isn't like they sat down and both consented to this. Yep. JLW, authority on Jewish men. Extreme sarcasm. Yep.
They have like a ton of respect for their mothers and just like strong women in general. And so I didn't know that because they're not people that I'm typically attracted to. But
I'm so sorry, Diesel. Diesel said I was abandoned, but thankfully there were no children. It definitely sucks. That's awful. To have no, I understand people have varying levels of empathy for others, but to have no empathy to say like, I'm totally excited to be getting in this relationship with this guy when I fully know that he is married with children, and then I continue to behave like this and just dig and pick at his wife. It's just the lack of empathy is almost as shocking as how mean she's being. It's just oh,
We don't like it.
We don't like it. We hate it. We hate it here.
We don't like it one bit.
Oh my god.
This one, wow. He's Sephardic Jew though, so he's, you know, what can I say?
So she is even being more picky about that the type of Jewish person he is better.
Exactly.
God. Oh my god. I was abandoned pregnant while he and his now ex-girlfriend tormented me. Tanya, that's awful.
I'm so sorry.
JLW's income is not Avi's income. Y'all have no idea why they got divorced. But him dating and not being married to JLW does not entitle him to her money. I didn't say it. I'm saying in a hypothetical, if they do get married, I think that it is wild. I am angry at this point, and I'm not trying to be angry at the chat. It is wild to abandon, and I don't know the situation. I'm saying I've read the divorce documents, and there's other information out there as well that Avi came to do construction work here and never went back home. And there is some speculation on my part. I'm saying that he had a kid in 2021 and he started dating her in 2022. Again, if this is not the stream, if y'all don't like our commentary, that's fine. I would say don't watch it then. It's been I'm doing the best that I can. It's been an emotional day with stuff that happened here in the United States, in Tennessee. It's just been emotional. I'm not trying to say that as an excuse to give me a pass for not speaking clearly on her. I'm saying that it is a shocking thing to hear that someone is left by themselves to take care of children. And then to see, after I've watched 20 plus hours of video of live streams that have just been her making digs about how incredible of a supporting girlfriend she's being to her Jewish boyfriend, and then being anti-Semitic and participating in fetishization. It's hard to I don't know. I'm gonna let Danielle talk. Sorry.
If you don't like the stream, go away. I'm sorry, I can't with this person.
Okay. If you're, I think they're in your chat. If you want to time them out, I don't think I can time them out on my end. Maybe I can.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I had it full
No,
screen.
you're
I
good.
didn't see that they were on mine. I mean, if you want to have a critical discussion, you can message me privately on Instagram, and I'm happy to have that there. But I don't think this is the platform to be having this conversation right now.
Is he a Christian Jew? Oh, no, no, no. This man is Jewish. And not like Jew-ish, like ish, like full blown, you know, God's chosen people. That doesn't, that's my eye roll. You know, he can't hear my eye roll.
If they believe that, why are you being disrespectful about like the mocking of someone else's faith is just, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just one thing after the next.
But yeah. So what would you, it's true though. This is a true thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So I love it. I love it about him. I think it's amazing how religious he is.
No,
I think it's
you
great
didn't.
How,
you didn't say anything wrong, Diesel. I was talking to somebody else in the chat. It's not you, Diesel.
how involved he is with that. And then it's cool learning all of his customs and traditions and like the holidays the Jews celebrate. And we've been reading, well, who's we? I've been reading about Passover, and then we have discussions about it all the time, and it's cool. And then, you know, I make him challah, and I try to read some of these Hebrew words. It's really bad. My Hebrew is not great. And then that's that. I hate people like you. What about anything I just said is anti-Semitic? I can't please all y'all. So what can I say? Yeah, we were reading out Satyrs the other day, yesterday. We were doing a bunch yesterday. So, but anyway, so he was raised Orthodox. Yeah. So when we talk about, when I talk about the Bible, or if he talks about the Torah or the Talmud, we have like lengthy discussions. We were talking about the name Isaac last night as an example, and obviously that's an Old Testament. If you are a Christian, that is an Old Testament story, of course, with Sarah getting pregnant at 90, and so Isaac, he pronounces it very differently, but anyway, means laughter. So
just to clarify, not that it matters, but Sarah and Abraham had Isaac, and Sarah was, I think, Sarai before, and Abraham was, I think it was Abram. I don't remember, but then in the Bible, I'm not going to use quotes, but I'm trying to say, like, in the Bible, they changed that God told them to change their names to Abraham and Sarah, and God told him that he was going to have a kid. Sarah didn't get pregnant for a long time. He took Sarah's servant, I guess, to have a kid with so that his lineage could continue, because he didn't believe that Sarah was going to be able to get pregnant because she was but very old in the Bible, and so she finally got pregnant at 90 according to the Bible, and had Isaac. So I just, not that y'all needed to know that, but I'm just, I don't know, using what little knowledge
Thank
I
you for
have.
coming to Bible study with DC.
Oh god.
anyway, yeah, we had a whole conversation about that last night. Can I even still do eyeliner? That is the question. Do I still got it?
Thanks, Shadow.
And then I told him, I was like, babe, we gotta get some Shabbat candles up in here. We were reading all about it. I'm like, where are my 2 white candles?
And then she laughed like a mockery.
Yeah.
I love it.
She asked a question earlier. She said, what about anything that I said was anti-Semitic? And if you're learning, if at least for me, it's still a process, but there's some things that if you're not part of the group that has targeted hate towards them, sometimes you don't understand what things are said that are offensive. And understanding nuance is important. Understanding the slights and the not as a way to say, oh my gosh, I have to walk on eggshells. It's so that you understand, so that you're not saying something that is weaponized towards another person to dehumanize them. And when she's saying Sephardic Jew as opposed to uh Ashkenazi Jew, she's saying, well, he's a Sephardic Jew, so it's better because he has more of the blood that I like, because I don't find people who are um from Israel attractive. So it's just she's saying things that are very sometimes subtle, sometimes overt. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking we're just being critical, letting ideas like this continue to grow in power in the dark, basically, and nobody's standing up to them, gets us in really bad situations where we start to accept ideas that dehumanize others. And that is not something that Danielle does on her channel. That's not something I do on my channel. And it's important to, as we learn, and again, I'm not going to say you have to speak up or you're complicit. It's a process in learning how to do this. It's a process in like saying, here's a situation where someone is being anti-Semitic. Let's talk about it and why the ideas are problematic and what she's saying. Because sometimes it's hard to pick up on. And as we learn and ask questions and learn from others who maybe can even tell us more stuff, we can maybe hold space for those who are being targeted and marginalized and give more power to their voices so they're not continued to like being trampled and silenced and harmed and stuff like that. So it's, I know y'all can figure it out. I know live chat can. I just, there's someone in my DMs was like, why do you keep talking about this person? Like, you can't control other people's behavior. No, I can't, but we can speak up when we see something wrong. We can say like, no, you're about to go over a cliff, like you need to stop the car, or you're about to burn your hand, that stove is on. You don't have to like, no, I can't control other people's behavior, but I can say something if I see something. I don't know.
And I think, like, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but for me, a lot of the reason why I create the content that I do, whether it's about Jessie Lee Ward or somebody else, isn't so much in hopes that that person is going to see it and be like, oh, maybe I should stop doing what I'm doing. It's more so on the side of like raising awareness to protect people who might look at this, watch this video and think, okay, it's okay to talk about like Jewish people like that, for example, or
Yeah.
to share my thoughts like this. It's like, it's more about stopping the behavior of others who she has influence over versus her specifically stopping whatever she's doing. Because
Yeah.
quite frankly, I don't think she's ever going to reach that point.
Yeah. And when you are in a situation where there's a huge power differential, where someone has so much influence over their team, over their downline, over others, it is scary to speak up. I'm sure that people probably get punished in a very interesting way if they stand up to her. They probably never get stacked into again. They probably get shunned. And I say shunned in the terms of she's not going to reach out to them. She's not going to talk to them in the group chat. She's not going to respond to their calls. They may even get kicked out of the Facebook groups and not have access to the team trainings anymore. Like, they can lose access to their ability to make money if someone stood up to her and said, hey, what you're sharing and saying right now is harmful to other people. It's wrong. And even though that person's saying the right thing, they may end up getting punished for it. So it's twisty. It's way twisty. I feel like not calling out this kind of behavior is tacitly condoning it through inaction. It's important to point out nasty behavior like this so we can all learn from it. Yes, and I just is it fair that we're in a world where there is systemic things that have been put in place, not that we're having to undo so that it doesn't continue keeping marginalized groups down, or it's not fair that those things are in place as people unlearn it, because not everybody has a great learning system. They didn't learn this in school. They maybe their parents didn't teach them, anything about this. So sometimes there's a huge learning curve as well. And so, yes, I think a conversation is important because some people are starting from no knowledge at all, learning what does anti-Semitism look like? What does it sound like? What does racism look like? What does racism sound like? Because there's no point of reference because maybe they've never been the target of racism before.
Exactly.
So it just. Good night, Tanya.
But I'm obviously like at a point in my influence, in my business, etc., where people are either gonna love me or hate me, and so it's fine. You can twist any words that you want. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me at this point because I know my intentions, and if you think that any of my intentions are bad, you're crazy.
Again, the gaslighting. So if she's saying this, hey, if you think that what I'm doing is bad, you
That's
are
on you.
mentally unstable. It's on you. It's your lens is wrong. You don't have the right mindset. You don't even have enough money to be talking to me right now.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, it's making someone feel small so they can't come back and say, no, what you are saying. And a lot of times when people are first learning how to speak up and talk about this, and that first point of contention or that first point of like pressure on like feeling the courage to speak up, they don't necessarily know what to say next, if that makes sense. So like they know like, hey, what you're saying is anti-Semitic. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean what I'm saying? What did I say specifically that was anti-Semitic? Oh, well, I have I do like this type of whatever. I'm using an example of Jessie Lee. I'm not saying this as my position, but like I do like this type of Jewish person based on their bloodline more than whatever. I literally sound like someone in the KKK right now. Just and so then it's like, well, I mean, I don't know everything, but I know that what you're doing right now is dehumanizing someone else. Oh, well, you just can't take things the right way. And so it's like it's a process of learning some things so that you feel equipped to be able to have conversations if they come up. Oh my god. Okay. It doesn't matter if you have good intentions. She doesn't. If you caused harm, you caused harm whether you meant to or not. Yep.
Okay. The winged line is looking good. Okay. I'm offending you? Well, then stop watching. I don't really care. If one person thinks I'm an anti-Semite, goodbye. Doesn't really bother me at all. There's really one person that really matters to me if he's worried about if I want to protect the Jews or not, and that would be Aviram, not you, stranger danger. So you keep doing your thing, I'm gonna keep doing my thing. Okay, so you said a great book is the Jewish Book of Why. Steph, we were reading it last night. That's so crazy. I have that book. We were reading that book. So anyway, hey Tony. Yeah, so we were reading that book yesterday, actually. And then I actually was gifted like 8 or 9 different Jewish books and like Jewish traditions and like why you do things in Judaism and all kinds of stuff like this, which I just
Night, ladies online.
I think it's important that if you are, especially, obviously in an interfaith relationship, that you learn about each other. So you learn about different customs and you pay attention to why somebody does something or what's important, like why things are important to him or whatever, instead of being like, what's going on? Like I remember when he first spent the night here and he prays with tefillin, right? Because I had no idea what that was, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, what is that? Can you explain it to me? And he had no problem explaining all of it. And when he's wrapping his arm and how it says God somewhere, it says whatever. Or a letter, it says one of the letters, if somebody is Orthodox, you'll know what I'm talking about. And he was like, yeah, no one's ever asked me like to explain it before. I'm like, I want to know all the things. So, but it's really cool. The different customs and traditions and how things are done. I've been all about this turning everything off on Saturday thing. This has been like one of my favorite things, is just kind of going silent on weekends. I'm actually better at that than he is, for sure. So
I've just learned the few bits and pieces about Judaism, even though I'm not interested in converting. But let me just tell you, I'm better at it than he is. Oh my god! So, and I don't want to speak for people who are Jewish. Their day of their holy day, they don't, what am I trying to say? A lot of times they have like timers and stuff set up so they don't have to actively turn on lights or turn them off. Electronics are, I think, a no go. It's just they want it to be a pure like day of rest where they're not cooking, they're not doing work, they're not. They want to dedicate the whole day for prayer and stuff like that. I know I'm not explaining this correctly, but she is saying that she's better at unplugging than he is, and it's like you've been it's just disrespectful.
You spend your whole life on live video.
Yeah. Oh, she said previously that her percentage of genetic Jewishness is higher, so she will teach him Jewish customs. You know, that's
That she doesn't know. She's learning from a book on the fly. So love that for her.
yeah.
you know, but I love the rest on the seventh day. Of course, that's in Christianity as well. So yeah, no, it's all really cool. Our big thing, the big problem in our relationship is the food.
The fact that he's still married.
He loves his Middle Eastern food.
Okay, if you saw the intro yesterday, it's worth going and watching yesterday's video to see it because she was with Rakan Khalifa in Canada and talking up how incredible his food was.
The food is!
And all of it was, I think it was Lebanese food, I'm not sure. It was the food that she's talking about here that she now has a problem with, but she didn't have a problem with it then. It's just a different story on a different day to a different audience. And I just
fitting her current narrative.
Yeah, it mostly to me it's showing kind of a behavior that is what's the truth? That is the question that continues to pop up. We've heard it in her podcast, on her origin story, on so many things where she changes so many different details. It's like what's the truth? What is going on? Oh, thank you, Jessica. The 39 categories of Sabbath work prohibited by law, ou.org, and that's a reference in, I think it's in my chat, but you can click on it if you want to.
Yes, I was in the hospital. I love Jesus Christ. Okay, I do. Jesus is my homeboy. I'm so like, no, I'm not interested in converting. It's not anything like I have more Jewish blood than he does. And there is no chance. No. Cause for me, just like for him, it's not just a convenience of, it's not just something you go do and you're like, oh, I'm a Jew now. I have no interest in doing that. I am a Christian. So, I'm excited so Palm Sunday is actually one of my favorite services of the year, and then Easter Sunday is my favorite service of the year. So I'm really excited for Resurrection Sunday. I will be going to the services all week long during Holy Week, and that's what I do. So he does what he does, I do what I do, and we both respect each other a lot. So where did we meet? We met on Bumble. So his thing was like, I have an accent. He does have quite an accent. He's very handsome. His English has gotten a lot better. Since
it just seems so insensitive. And I know if you don't like my channel, I'm probably too touchy-feely for most people. My mom grew up overseas for all of her life, basically, until she went to college. And we didn't travel outside of the United States growing up because there were a lot of us kids. But she was like, give a shit about other people's culture, and it is a huge deal if someone learns English as a second language. You don't make fun of them for the attempt to communicate with you. And certainly, if you go to another country, do not ever expect that someone's going to speak English. So you better either learn the language or hire an interpreter or do some work to like gives the respect to the place that you're visiting. And for her to make fun of the fact that he has an accent when he speaks multiple languages, I'm guessing he speaks Hebrew and Arabic and English. So I'm not trying to get offended at every single thing she says. Just the disrespect she has for other people is so, it rubs me the wrong way. And it just seems like such a mean thing to do, to say like, oh, he did have an accent. What? So what? So what?
Exactly.
So what?
Can we talk about the IQ that's required to be able to speak multiple languages?
Yes, holy shit. Wild. And then she's positioning it that she's somehow a better person because
But that's
she helped
lesser
him.
than.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like she's helped
That's the part
him
that doesn't make sense to me.
get a better English whatever accent. Just give me a break. Ugh.
Since we were talking about this the other day, I was like, your English has gotten so good, babe.
What about
so
your
good.
Hebrew?
I'm so proud of you. But he really...
What about your Hebrew? What about your Arabic? Are you learning a language for him? Because he's certainly doing a hell of a lot of work trying to speak English better. And this is me still living under the umbrella of, I am appalled that she went back on what she said about really being upset that she was with someone who was married before with Vic, and that she was never going to be that she does not get involved with married people. It's just so hypocritical, in my opinion.
He is the best. I could sit on here and talk about him all day, clearly. I don't think he wants me to talk about him all day, though. So, we can
literally
talk about
asked
something
you to
else,
stop
but
like
he's
20
amazing,
minutes
so.
ago.
Yep.
Why do people get on and say stupid things? I don't know. Stupid people say stupid things. And if you can't tell my intentions with this man and his religion and respecting him is really important, then I don't know what to tell you. I would never ever intentionally be offensive to him. To some of you, maybe. I'm just kidding. But to him, not a chance.
How would you know? So I'm just saying, like, he's obviously told you to stop commenting on how his DNA test that you made him take, about what percentage of a Jew he is, or a Jewish person he is, how much Jewish blood he has in him. He literally asked you to stop. He literally asked you to stop commenting on that. So you know that is some kind of issue with Avi, and you're still doing it.
Exactly. No respect. No respect.
Yep.
Chance. Not a chance. So, we have religious discussions. We've talked about things, obviously. If and when, I should say, we have a son. You guys already know there is not a chance in hell I'll be circumcising that gorgeous thing. We've talked about that. And, we have our differences and we have our similarities. And I think that is in all people. And I think that's what makes our relationship so great.
He has 2 sons and a daughter. He has kids. I'm not trying to say like anything about blended families at all. I'm just, the lack of acknowledgement of his family, of his kids with his first wife, and then to pretend there's no history there at all, to make jabs at her and then talk about maybe the family you're going to be starting with him. Just rude. It's mean. Damn.
Partially. One of the things that makes our relationship so great anyway. So, yeah, ain't no way. This is not we don't have to talk about circumcision again. I feel like I talk about it a lot on my profile. But, go to yourwholebaby.org if you need information on why you should never do that to your children. Yourwholebaby.org, okay? And there are brists that don't involve mutilating your children. So if you're watching this and you are Jewish, you can look into that. What am I looking for? Oh yeah. But anyway, what can I say? All right. You're gonna be an amazing mom. I will someday in the not so near future. Yes, you serve the host. You serve the host and wine at your church, Eucharistic. Oh, you're Eucharistic minister. I love that. Love that. Nana was as well. And we would go do the lay Eucharistic stuff services in people's homes on during the week for people who are unable to go get their communion. So I'm all about it, man. I'm a genuinely good Christian girl. What can I say? So he knows there's no converting me. He knows there's no converting me. Baby, I love you.
For someone who had as traumatic of a childhood as she did, that she has told us about on her podcast, on her lives, on her stories,
Many lives.
on her Instagram posts, to have no empathy for his children at all, that they were around him and then they weren't. To have no empathy to say, like, that's traumatic for kids. And then to be so audacious as to pretend you're working on your inner child with Sasha. Are you serious right now? It's just one hypocrisy after the next, and I don't like being that person who's like, look at the person who you are joining. I like to more focus on behaviors of like deceptive business practices, unsubstantiated health claims, deceptive recruiting practices. And some of the behavior here is certainly a red flag for me. I don't want it to be like a witch hunt for Jessie Lee. I think that with how much information is available online, how much that she has shared herself, it's certainly telling a story that raises a ton of questions. Ugh, man.
Grabbed these at the freaking we're going to an Iranian New Year's charity event tonight. So it's a client of his, and so I told him I would do my makeup really well for the first time since we've been dating, with the exception of Sydney and Holly's wedding. So he doesn't care. I could go in a brown paper bag and he'd be like, babe, you're so hot. But you know, I am from Maryland. Yes, I am.
I know I keep pausing this to talk about the guy you're with when he's still in a legally committed relationship with someone else that there's no closure on, and then to tell the world all the things that he's saying about you. In my mind,
Exactly.
It's a dig at his wife, and
in hopes that she's going to come across some of this.
Yep, just the mean level. It's just wild.
She always has to like hold the power.
Hi, Annalie. How are you? Yes, or Annalie? Could be Annalie. I can give her a shout out for sure. No, he is Jewish. Let's see. Love how you guys have heavy talks. You know what's interesting is I think when you're as old as me, when you're geriatric like me, if I were to get pregnant, it'd be a geriatric pregnancy. If you're a geriatric like me, you gotta have the real conversations quickly. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really have time for BS. My BS meter is pretty quick. Well, really, really quick, actually. And so
I am about to say something mean. And this is absolute shade on Vic, the former chief marketing officer from Adair, who was pulling a fast one over Jessie Lee Ward because he was married when he was with her both times. I'm trying to do this without. I'm trying not to put all of the responsibility on Jessie Lee Ward, because there's both. There's Vic's responsibility and there's hers, and then there's Avi's responsibility, and then there's Jessie Lee's. And if your BS meter is so good, then what the hell has been going on? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. How old am I? She's gonna be 35 this year, I think. She's 34.
35 is geriatric
Yep.
pregnancy.
Yep. She's in November. She's gonna
35.
be 35. Yep.
And she had said earlier that she wasn't planning on getting pregnant anytime soon. So I am assuming that's why she made that comment. Because
Yep.
if she were to get pregnant like next year, it would be a geriatric pregnancy.
Yep.
I mean, I jumped right in. Yeah, the hard questions. What's going on with this, etc. Like, what are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about that? Once I determined,
What
like,
about how
I
are your
actually
kids
want to
doing?
date this guy. This is
Are you still married? You know, just important, kind of big deal kind of questions.
more than just like a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. So yeah, we've had a lot of like really intense conversations, obviously. And oh my god, babe, 7 months.
Oh my god,
Crazy.
7 months. You heard him say that? It's like, oh, okay. Come on. Alizek said I had a dad who was rarely there, and I still think to this day that I wasn't good enough for him to stay or even for him to stop drinking. I'm sorry.
I love you so much. Yeah, there's just not a lot of like fluffy crap going on, you know? When you're a geriatric like me. We're just too old for the BS. These lashes suck. I might need you to bring me the other lashes. Actually, these are horrific. And not like in a poor, like hooer way, like in a ew. I don't like it kind of way. These are just some Ardell lashes that I grabbed. It was funny because he's like, babe, you have so many lashes, because I have so many Moxie Lash. But the Moxie Lash are all those, the bougie ones, and they're so extra, and I don't wear makeup anymore, so for me to wear like really long, crazy lashes now at this point in my life, jeepers, I just really can't do it. I love you. Look, he brought me lashes. Like, look at the difference. It's crazy. I just think they're too extra for me now, you know, babe? What? I just feel like they're too extra for me now. With my little natural life.
What are you talking about?
Can I see? Ooh. Hello there! Woo-hoo! My man is good! Wow. Is that for me? Oh my god.
Fucking rude.
I'm gonna take you home tonight.
This is so mean.
Good thing I took a nap, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
Can we
He looks
stop?
very handsome.
I mean, not us. I mean her.
Yeah, and I know, like, at some point, when you move on with your life, you have to, like, live your new life. When I'm saying, like, older commitments are, I'm trying to be, like, fair, I guess. I understand part of that, but this is just, the situation seems like the interpretation for this is she's being so purposefully mean to Avi's wife.
Yeah, like she's trying to broadcast it as publicly as possible is like what it comes across to me. Like I'm going to share every single intimate detail, even though it's not necessary.
Yeah. Yes, a good reminder. I think I'll check out for my mental well-being. Have a great night, y'all, and please like the stream. Absolutely. As a reminder for everybody else too, if you're feeling some kind of way, like your anxiety is rising or you're feeling like unsettled or that you may feel really bad after the stream is over, hop out now. Do the right thing for your mental health and for your emotional health. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Where are we going? There's a Iranian Persian New Year charity event that we are going to. So, yeah, I know 7 months. Holy smokes. Guys, I don't like lashes anymore. I grabbed these in the checkout line at Nordstrom Rack. Somebody put them back down, and I was like, ugh, I should wear lashes tonight, shouldn't I? Let's just grab those. They were on sale for $4.97. So, Yes, I do love Moxie Lash, by the way. They're my favorite lashes. I just need a different style, and this is the only one I have. It's just not going to work. So, hell yeah, Cell Ketone's #1 in the world. Link in the bio. Let's go. Oh, and I think Avi wants to... We're going to pack trials live soon. I was going to say, I think he wants to. I don't know if he wants to. But I like doing it with him. Do you like doing it with me? Yeah. Babe, you look very handsome. I'm getting taken aback right now.
What?
My heat is rising. Look at you.
That's good.
Whoa. So Babe, we are about to leave.
Yeah, and I don't want to, because Avi's never on camera, I don't want to play into a misogynistic perspective that we're only going after women on our channel. There's a far and above equal or more blame to put on Avi for behaving like this. And I say this from what we know, from the information we have access to, this is a shitty situation. And there is equal parts blame on Jessie Lee and Avi. Just because he's not on screen doesn't mean that we're just hyper focusing on women or because we are whatever. Secretly like
I hate all women.
Yeah. we don't hate women, we're just hate bad behavior, so just
I'm doing final touches.
This is another thing. There was I know, I've watched too much Jessie Lee Ward content, I get it. There was a live where she talked about how important it was to be on time, that it showed a certain amount of character, that that she was on time for everything, blah, blah, blah. And then you find out the reality of the situation, that's not the case. So it is just a stark, it's like a
The
study
irony!
in contrast. It's a study in irony because of things that are said in public facing and things that are actually done in behind the scenes. It's just, it's an eye roll. It's an eye roll.
Should I please loosen it up?
That would be amazing. Thank you. You're really going to be Wookie's favorite. Oh, shoot. That's going to ruin Instagram.
Oh, here we go.
An Amber Alert just popped up on Instagram. That's going to mess up my... Hi, baby girl. That's going to mess up my Instagram sound. You're not going to be able to hear me.
Who fucking cares?
Boo hoo. You're not even saying anything valuable right now.
You know how many times like Amber Alerts have actually found people who are missing when they wouldn't have been found before? And oh my gosh,
Exactly.
could you have freaking used your platform? If there's an Amber Alert going off and you're live streaming near the location, why wouldn't you just say, oh my gosh, there's a kid that's missing. This is the car they're looking for.
I hope they find them.
You just... The lack of empathy is enraging. Oh my god.
And okay, so I want to add this. So I don't know if this also happens in the States, but like when I lived in Ontario, they would test the like Amber Alert system, say like once a year. And one time there was a glitch and it went off in like the middle of the night. And people would call 911 to complain that the Amber Alert like interrupted their sleep. And so if she's coming on her public platform to be like, the Amber Alert is so inconvenient, I'm not saying that that's going to like encourage people to call 911, but I think it condones that kind of behavior to be like negative towards the Amber Alert system.
Yeah. Yep. I think it does too. Again, it's how much influence she has. She has hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok. She has hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. She has thousands of followers on Facebook. She's got a huge reach. And why not use your platform for good? Why would you not want to
Exactly.
Like, look, everyone, unplug for a second. This is the person we're looking for. This is the car we're looking for. This is the license plate we're looking for. There was a story last year about how someone found a girl who had been kidnapped by her uncle, and that they found her within I don't know, a couple days because of the Amber Alert system, because of social media. I don't know if he's still on Bumble. He's still on Bumble? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Does someone have screenshots?
You got screenshots you want to Instagram us?
Send them my way.
Yep. All right.
How are you about to leave? What are you wearing? That'll be fine.
It's not your event. It's your boyfriend's event who wanted to be on time. And it's fine. It's fine. It's just an eye roll, one after another.
Hi, Bookie. Outfit of the day, please. I'll post photos, guys. Don't wait. Oh, don't worry. These lashes are horrible. 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 Don't go by Ardell. Go by Moxie Lash. Ay, ay, ay. These are so bad. I'm trying to make
That's
magic happen right now. Guys, I'm a woman. I always say, oh, I'm ready. I'll be ready in a second. Oh, you guys can hear me okay still? Okay. On Instagram.
Oh, thank God that your voice is still carrying over the Amber Alert. Thank God. Oh, my Lanta.
So I can hear you talk about eyelashes. So great. Really adding value here.
So in Texas, you can go to the Amber Alert website, and it'll tell you who's been found and which alerts have been canceled and which ones are still open. So that way you can track it and you can see pictures and stuff like that. So I think it was either deactivated, but it wasn't like I don't know if they either canceled it or they found him.
Oh my god, my lashes is like... I do not drink keto cream. No. Oh, now his friend's here. I can hear them chattering in Hebrew.
Chattering? You mean speaking? Like it's
exactly having a conversation.
Oh my god! The way that it comes across, and this is me reading into this. It's like she believes that English is the best language, and that any other language is below par. And it's she's like patting them on the head. Oh, they're chattering in Hebrew. Are you? It's so rude. The
cute little Jewish men that speak in Hebrew.
Oh,
so cute and little.
Yeah,
with their little cute language.
Let the glue set up so it sticks to your freaking eye.
I hate it. It's just lifting in the corner.
Maybe you should stop touching them.
I don't have the magic touch anymore, you know, because I don't wear lashes ever. It's just because of photos that I'm wearing lashes, by the way. Do you think I can't tell that the corner is lifting? What do you think I keep fixing? Ding ding. Okay. That's fine. Alright. Sasha and Mateo are back home. Sasha should be in Switzerland by now, unfortunately. And Mateo would be in... I think Mateo's currently in...
Sasha and Mateo have relationships with other people that they gave up to hang out with Jessie Lee for however many months it was. They got to sacrifice their time with their significant others to take care of Jessie Lee. And now she's saying, and I get missing someone, but it's like that they have lives and people to get back to that they should be able to do that. It's just wild.
They must always be with me all the time.
Yep.
Sicily. All right. Okay. All right.
Very good.
Kind of want to wear my hair up now. Oh my god, my hair's not done. I really have to go.
Close your window. She lives in she rents a multi-million-dollar it's worth that. She rents a very big
Like a
penthouse.
luxury apartment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I literally have no clothes on and I have no freaking, oh my god, it's ridiculous. Okay, I love you guys. I really have to go because my boyfriend's gonna be like, what the okay, so what's up? I'm Jessie, I'm hot as shit. Okay, so I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Links in the bio for everything. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you for doing my makeup with me and thanks for asking all the questions. And y'all are amazing. And this live is saved on Facebook if you want to hear all the health stuff, okay? All right, I'll talk to y'all soon. I gotta go to a Persian New Year. Adios.
What the hell did we just listen to? Oh my god! What just happened?
I didn't like that.
All right, let me pull up. I think I'm just gonna pull up Avi's paperwork. Everything's redacted. A paralegal went through and redacted everything. So this is also publicly available to everyone on the planet. So you can grab this for yourself if you want to. It's not us revealing anything.
Secret information.
Yep. Let me see. Where is it? All right, let me grab it again. Looking for Aaron. Mm-hmm. Sorry about this. I had it earlier. There we go. Okay. All right.
Jennifer, I don't think she knows.
Is it Persian or Iranian? I don't think that she knows. Mail, quit mail. So we're going to go over here and let's see if we can do this. Share screen, window. Okay. All right, we're going to be underneath and I'm going to scroll through it. So this is his response, Avi Ram. That's his first name. This is the respondent, and we can look at the other one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But dissolution, divorce of marriage, everything's whited out or redacted. The only address on here is the courthouse, the Superior Court of California. Oh my god. Okay. Legal relationship. We are married. Okay. Residence requirements. Petitioner. I thought he was the respondent. Petitioner has been a resident of this state for at least 6 months and of this county for at least 3 months.
So I think this is the document she sent him.
Okay, gotcha. Because this is the one. Oh, and so the other one is the one he sent her. Okay, because this is the one that's labeled his wife, and then this is the one that's labeled him.
Oh, okay. Then maybe. I don't know.
It says they've been married since 2015, so it's not a short marriage. It's 8 years almost. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 2023. All the kids' names have been redacted, but you can see their ages 7, 4, and 1. Good night, Stevie. The other interesting parts are that the respondent, where's the one where he's requesting money? The respondent requests divorce because of irreconcilable differences, and nothing else was selected. He didn't spousal or domestic partner support. Spousal or domestic partner support payable to the respondent. He wants money from her, which is wild, terminate the court's ability to award support to the petitioner. This is Avi's response to her.
Yes.
Confirm as separate property the assets and debts in attachment 9B. I don't think they... Oh, here we go. This is just saying there's different property, like miscellaneous.
Like things. Meaning he probably just wants his stuff back. I'm assuming if he left and didn't come back, he probably has all his personal belongings still with her.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And he wants her to pay the attorney's fees. That's what that means. Uh-oh. His last name was on there. Ugh! Sorry. Well, now y'all have it, so sorry about that. This is hers.
But people can just Google this anyway, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can just go to this is the Los Angeles, it's listed on the documents of the Los Angeles court, and you can just request it. Anyone can. So. Oh, I will, Tish. Petitioner. Date of marriage. It's just, I mean, they've been married for a while. This is pretty much the same thing. She's requesting support from him. She wants legal custody. He wanted shared custody. And she wants physical custody as well. So she wants legal custody and physical custody. No joint and no other listed.
And then, she wants, I see.
Yep. Terminate the court's ability to award support to Avi. Confirm as separate property the assets and debts. So I'm not sure if she listed anything else. I don't think... See, there's nothing on her page. There's no, like, attachments. He's the one that said that there were... Wait, sorry. Where... He's the one that had the attachments, 9B, various items of property, the nature and extent of which is unknown to the respondent at this time. No shit. And respondent will ask leave of court to amend this response. When these items are ascertained, respondent will request the subject items of property to be confirmed to the respondent. He's just saying he has stuff and he doesn't know what they are, so he doesn't want to list them. He wants to wait until he has a list and let them decide. So it's just a whole thing. And again, we show this because it's not just us like guessing that he's still married. He's still married. He's still married according to the court. And they're filing for divorce. So how can he get shared custody if he's living in Texas in JLW's residence? Would she even let his children be there? Who knows? I know there are some custody arrangements where a parent's out of state and they get them like in the summertime and then they live the school year with one parent and then they swap. So it's rough. It's rough on the kids, though. It's difficult. Yeah. So, do you have any thoughts, Danielle? Because my brain's broken at this point.
I don't know. Honestly, it's just like, it's the same thing we've been saying over and over again. Like, Jessie Lee has obviously no regard for this entire scenario that's happening. I mean, I would argue that he doesn't really have any regard for it either, considering he continues to just kind of play house with Jessie Lee while this other situation is taking place. But again, I don't know enough about his separate situation really to speak on that. So I will say that. But
yeah,
I just think that if we're on the topic of like Jessie Lee and her perspective and her role in this whole scenario, to me, it blows my mind that she can just act so nonchalant about everything. And again, I think it's like you said earlier, like it's really just a dig at the wife in some like backhanded kind of way. But
yeah,
it just is giving me the ick.
And I guess here's my next question. If I know a bunch of pro Jessie Lee Ward people found my first video, and I didn't block any comments, but they're not happy with the videos being made. What would you say to someone who is pro Jessie Lee Ward, who is a huge fan of hers, and they're having a hard time wrapping their head around the situation and why people are taking issue with it?
I think it's tricky because to an extent I would say I empathize with those people, because obviously if you're in that position where you can believe someone wholeheartedly and not question anything they say or do, like there's something going on here that's much deeper than me just telling you like, oh, what she's saying is bad and you should believe me.
Right.
Um but at the same time, I would, ask yourself to be a little bit more critical, whether that's getting someone else's feedback that you trust to say, like, hey, these random people on the internet think this, but like, what are your thoughts on this situation? Like an objective third party to
Yeah.
maybe bring things into perspective. Like, I don't know, when I'm in a situation where I'm like going back and forth with someone, I'll ask my partner, my friend, whoever, like, this is what's happening. What do you think's going on? Someone who's going to, not sugarcoat things for me, but give me that opportunity to like, oh, maybe this is why these people are saying these things. Have you considered X, Y, and Z? And have them frame it for you in a way that's not just like, no, you're right, they're wrong. I don't know if that made sense, but
It does. When I don't know if you've seen it, but Stephen Hassan did a TED Talk, a Boston TED Talk, where he was talking about his experience getting sucked into the Moonies and how his dad was like, "Steve, what the hell are you doing?" And it's, I don't know if you've ever seen those little party games, but what are they called?
the Chinese
Yes,
finger
yeah, yep,
taps.
yep. And so
Mhm.
when you pull on it, you cannot pull your fingers apart because it tightens, but as soon as you
Mhm.
loosen up and you push it together, you can remove it. And I think that lines up with what you're saying in terms of having conversations with people that get them to engage in the logical thought process where there's not as much judgment. But I will say this, even if someone is having one of those kind of visceral reactions that people are coming for their beloved leader, I will say this. I I I am gonna react strongly to anti-Semitism. I'm gonna react strongly to racism. I'm gonna react strongly to someone dehumanizing other people. I'm gonna react strongly to someone who, with the full knowledge that there is another party involved with children, and seeing how she is making digs at the other party involved, that does not sound like the treasured leader that you put up on your pedestal. The person where we listened to the video yesterday where she said, you want to be the type of person where you can sleep peacefully at night, that your character is something that you do in private, but um but it should be something that you're proud of and stuff like that. What is Anti-Semitism shouldn't make you feel proud. Dehumanizing others shouldn't make you feel proud. And if she's saying my character is above reproach and there's nothing bad that I've ever done regarding how I speak about Avi or how I speak about others, that in itself is a lack of awareness. So it's just something to think about. It's something for you to test yourself if someone's watching this, if they make it to this far in the video, because I doubt that someone will.
This is
Oh,
like something I think too. If you were to like write this out as a story, a nameless, faceless story of this person, Sally Smith, and these are all the things that she said, and these are all the things that she did, and look at it from that perspective, would you still agree? Yep, she's a good person. Yep, she's warranted in the things she's saying. Yep, it all makes sense. Or would you be like, red flag, red flag, red flag? Because I would argue that if you took the persona of Jessie Lee out of this whole scenario and put a nameless, faceless person on it, you would be asking yourself, WTF is going on here? Who
yeah,
is this person and why are they behaving this way?
yeah, yep, yep. Oppression shouldn't make you proud. Check your privilege. Yeah,
Exactly.
yep. And I think that's a great point. And if that is a good litmus test for anybody. if any relationship is going to influence people who are close to that person, for good or for bad, there's healthy and destructive sides of people's influence that can have an impact on your life. And it's a good thing to say, if something is nagging at the back of your mind that you're like, it's something to be able to take a step back. There's nothing dangerous of you to say, I want to make sure that I am not putting my stamp of approval on behavior that I am myself not okay with. Because
Exactly.
I would bet that there are some people in the empire who would never promote racism or anti-Semitism or bigotry or fetishization, but because they've had such a close, long-lasting relationship with Jessie Lee Ward, maybe there is some perspective that's skewed. Because if you like Danielle just said, if you listed some of the things that Jessie Lee Ward said herself and you separated them from Jessie Lee Ward, if you wrote them on paper and you read them back to yourself, if they are shocking to you, that means that there's something that your leader's doing that you're not okay with as a person.
Exactly. Like if I started an anonymous Reddit thread that was like, these are all the things my boss said on live video yesterday, what would your reaction be?
Yep. 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 It's wild. It's wild. I and it's interesting to see how much power she still holds. She's being backed up by a multi, maybe even close to $1 billion company. I don't know how much money Prove It has, but hundreds of millions of dollars. And she's being backed up by the CEO, by the founder, by her other connections in the multi-level marketing industry, her own wealth.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The other like problematic influencers in the space, in my opinion, problematic, but they have influence as well. And if they're condoning her behavior, that is like indirectly putting their stamp of approval on it.
Yep. And so it is one of those things that it's like, are people like commentary channels going to be able to make a difference? They certainly made a difference in Black Oxygen Organics. They certainly made a difference with getting the attention of the FTC on the doTERRA reps who were saying that they had a fix for the vid. And people like Kira and Savannah and Amanda and MLM Exit and Kat Benson and other people who like did a shit ton of work to get a whole multi-level marketing company taken down. I'm saying that it's possible. I'm not saying that we would cheer if Jessie Lee was not able to have as much access to money as she does now. I'm saying that bad behavior should be called out, especially when that behavior is rooted in the dehumanization of others. And I hope that more people speak up on it because it's bad. Oh God. Well,
And that's why we're here. And that's why we're stressing ourselves out to do the work.
exactly.
So you're welcome, everyone.
That's why Danielle's missing her bedtime to be with the late night live crew, because this seemed to be important. I
There
hope
are causes to be spoken about.
Exactly. So we're gonna let Danielle get to bed so she can get her the sleep she needs, and I'm gonna enjoy my insomnia. So live chat, you've been incredible. I know this was a hard watch. Please take care of yourself. Color, drink something warm, pet your flu,
Go to
bed, something like that. And replay crew, much non-culty love to you. Thanks so much,
We
and
appreciate it.
we will catch you on the next live stream whenever we get to do it again. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.